Trump dance. Get it. I think that's just about that. Enough of that.
Woohoo!
How's everybody doing? Oh gosh, the antics that go on behind the scene, behind the screen before we go live. Well, I kind of remember you. Hey, you all look. Okay, I got the darndest thing happening to me right now, guys. I had a really hard time with my computer. The dogs chewed up the cord, and now everybody I'm seeing on the screen is black, except for Miss Nikki, and Miss Nikki over there in the corner is white. And you just, I know it's just my computer. It's just my computer. It's something. So
terrible.
If anybody can tell me how to fix that with a Chromebook, okay, send me an email at chancemusic@yahoo.com. Because I'm telling you, it's very distracting. Okay. I mean, if I was black and everybody else was and whatever, it wouldn't matter to me, okay? Because I don't care. But it's just distracting when you're used to seeing A, B, C, and D, and then you're doing this negative image. So anyway, it's all good. Hi, I'm Chance McFadden, and you know who you are. And they got the one and only DocG. Miss Nikki's right underneath. And Miss Nikki is a familiar face to all the W4 group people. And she has arranged a very special guest for us tonight. And underneath me is Teresa's team. And she's not showing her face. She doesn't want to be on camera. But her name's Sandra, right?
Shelly.
Shelly!
Yeah, you're close.
I did it again. Okay, and thank you, Shelly, for joining us. And there's Tara. She popped in there for a second. Tara, as you know, is the head administrator of Chance's Chat Telegram page. And then up in the right-hand corner on top is Debbie Stevens. She's our investigative reporter and APL Go lady, and she's the go-to lady for the APL Go products. And then underneath, last but not least, is Mr. Fascinating Brian.
Good evening. And
Brian, if you can jack your mic up a couple notches, it would be great.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're wonderful now, loud and clear, brother.
Okay.
So, as you know, we have a very special guest tonight, and we want to thank Teresa's team for making that happen for us. And we are going to be covering a lot of stuff, and the show is not going to go for 2.5 hours tonight. If it goes 2 hours, we're going to be surprised, okay? Because it believe it or not, talking on the microphone and doing everything that we do, it takes a lot out of us. And Nikki just disappeared. Oh, she's back. I haven't seen Nikki since the Zoom call that we had for the W4 group, and it's always nice to see her. She never wants to FaceTime me when we talk on Messenger, so it's either I don't know, whatever, personal problem.
Exactly.
I know I usually have a bad hair day. Okay, guys, let's start it right out with the recreational vehicle news. Okay, because recreational vehicle news is, oh my gosh. Okay. I was on Treasury call last night, and I know Teresa is part of the White Hats also. Now, exactly what her position is, I don't know. And like I've told people before, I'm kind of an intern. I'm kind of the bottom rung, but I get thrown bits and crumbs once in a while. I am a constitutional lawyer, and I've been privileged to help a lot of people. And we've been writing a lot of trusts lately. So if you need a trust, get a hold of me at chancemusic@yahoo.com or send me a text at 319-561-0064. Roy, who is that popped up there? Who was that? Mr. Bartlett?
Roy.
Oh, Roy. Hey, Kent is very, very busy off planet. And Teresa just joined us.
Good evening, Teresa.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Wow.
Oh,
You just popped right in there.
She popped right in. I love it. I have a question for Doc real quick. How can Shelly see the stuff on screen? Like I can see the people making comments on screen, but Shelly can't see them.
What, is she on her phone or is she on a computer?
I think she's on a computer.
She should be able to see it unless she's blocking it.
She's on a laptop.
I'm on a laptop.
She's on a laptop.
And you can't see anything? Do you have your camera on?
No. Do I need to have it on?
Try to turn it on, see if that changes. Sometimes if you put the camera on, there's other things.
If you you could block your
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. Okay. Awesome.
See if that makes a difference.
Not
Teresa, I'd like to welcome you to Chance's chat. I'm Chance McFadden, and Nikki kind of looks out for me because us guys we can't keep our act together, and
she's an awesome lady, I tell you.
she has to scroll to the left for comments. Okay, that's what Bernadette says. She has to scroll to the left for comments. But what goes on here is it's a different kind of truth show. Okay, it's a different type of truth show. We try to have a very wide mind and a lot of openness and a lot of transparency. And usually Mr. Kent Dunn is with us, but he's been absent for a couple of weeks. He's probably doing his off-planet thing. And Fascinating Brian can help with the galactic updates that we usually do, but he's a lot like you, Teresa. He's a very spiritual individual, and he is an angelic. And that makes him pretty fascinating to us. And we're just tickled to death that you're here tonight. And I won't take up any more of your time. Nikki, just go ahead and start interviewing Teresa. And welcome to Chance's Chat.
Welcome to Chance's Chat, Tressie. So would you prefer me say Tressie or Teresa tonight?
I go back and forth. Tressie is kind of an endearing name that my dad gave me, and I couldn't even figure out why he did, because he didn't really like me. But then God told me that he told him to tell him to call me that, so that I knew this is my name that God gave me.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you see me. I'm Nikki. We've been chatting, and that's DocG at the top there to the left. Chance just introduced himself, and Debbie and Fascinating Brian, and of course Shelly. So I guess before I do the introduction of Tressie, I just would love it if everyone would just still themselves for a moment, if you can, if you're not driving or anything like that, because what is going on tonight is timeless. It's for tonight, and it's also for the future. There's a lot of things going on in our world. And I was blessed by Tressy's presence in a situation that I was having. So everyone just take a moment to empty out everything from your mind, empty out your day, empty out tonight, empty out tomorrow, and just allow yourself to be here right now and present. And then to take in a deep breath, knowing that any and everything that goes on after this is a gift from God. So Tressie is an international flutist, vocalist, speaker, life coach, prophetic artist. She has 16 CDs, 6 of which are well known in the medical community for her calming musical voice and instrumentals. She has been told that at her concerts, miracles have been performed. And I believe it. And I believe we're all in for miracles tonight, just for the information and what the frequencies will be raised and what it will do for our hearts. She has ministered personally for the presidents of South Korea, the Irish government, and also our U.S. national government. And then I love one of the quotes that Shelley sent over to me by James Gall, that Teresa Griffith is the most anointed musician that he had ever heard. And what happened for me one night early in December, I was flying high and everything was going well. And, you know, I've been able to bring other people up and remind people that, you know, let's just keep on in this fight to keep going. And then I got a couple of phone calls with some bad news about what was happening to individuals. And it kind of sent me on a little downward spiral. And it's not easy to pull me out of those spirals when I get in them. And I was just talking to God saying, what's going on? What's happening now? What is it? And I couldn't relax and I couldn't fall asleep. And usually I can bring myself in. And then I got up and I opened my phone, and I don't know how and or why it ended up on Tressy's Rumble page, but it did. And I'm a hiker, so the word trek caught me right away. And so I pushed play. And the message that came through, it calmed me. It answered my questions. And so the other thing that I want to add to Tressy's bio, it's something she said just recently, is that she's a spiritual medic. And I believe for such a time as this, to pull us over the rope over this last hour, you know, into everything that's going on. And before I allow Tressie to take the reign, she's got 2 beautiful websites for such a time as this that have been prepared. And then also, I've gotten a couple of phone calls today where people were a little upset about the news that's going out. And thank God I was able to still them and center them. But as things go forward, these are the things that we're going to need to be able to keep ourselves centered and remain unattached while bringing others into balance with everything that's going to be going on in our world. So with that, I will give Tressie the reins.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be with you all tonight. It is my mission to join myself to anyone who is a free thinker and open-minded, understands how to get into the real world where anything is possible, and just support each other and join together to be a part of the solution right now. And so I just want to give you a little bit of history in case you've never met me or heard any of my podcasts. So I was born into a family of 7 children, and I was second born, and my mother didn't want me, and I didn't know it, till later in life when she told me everything. But she abused me from day one, and I almost died at 6 months because of the trauma. She said that it was so bad that she could never tell me what she did. And so it set me up for a life of self-hatred and health issues and great difficulty with relationships. But I I used it as an opportunity to go into the real world, to find my way out of the wilderness by going into the real world and overcoming everything, because I had nothing. My family rejected me, and because my mother patterned that to them, and I didn't know why, but I recently found out that my father is not my father. And so that makes sense, you know. But so I was ill for many years, and bedridden for 5 months at a time, and almost died several times. Um, Went into 25 years of abuse, where I almost died in that relationship as well. It was like being in a prison for 25 years. And then marrying a different gentleman, that a California surfer dude that I thought was amazing. And he ended up going into drugs and sold everything I had for drugs. And I ended up homeless, had a nervous breakdown, and lost everything. And so I wrote a screenplay about how how God put me back together. And it's called The Oregonian Resuscitation. And so in that time when I lost everything, I lost my health again, um, my finances, my home, my car, everything. And so in that time, I was unplugged from the matrix. And so um, I was thrust into the real world of the kingdom of God, where anything is possible. I could no longer lean on any of the systems of the world for survival. I had to get everything downloaded out of the real world. And it was the most thrilling adventure I could have ever experienced. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. And there was one day that God wanted to get me unstuck in life, in my mind and my understanding. So I went to see a therapist friend of mine who did raindrop therapy. And I prepared myself spiritually, so I was ready to go up. But from the moment that she touched my feet with the essential oils, I was in almost like a trance. And I was into the spirit realm. My whole body was radiating heat, like fire was coming off my hands, that she could actually feel the heat of it all the way down by my feet. And I began to, it was just like being Jodie Foster in Contact, because it was like this white light would come into one eye at a time. And I believe, you know, the right side of the body correlates to father issues, the left side with mother issues. And so the right, you know, when the light would come into the right eye, it would be all about dad, you know. And so God would say to me, do you remember when this happened? And it was all like being in a time warp, you know, like a wormhole. And I was like, like this. And he would say, you remember when this happened? You want to know why this happened? And he'd explain the whole thing. And then he'd give me the proof. Then he'd let me process. And I was just convulsing with sobs at that time. And then when I processed it, then he'd move over here, white light in this eye. And he'd say the same thing. Do you want to know why this happened? And he'd explain it. That went on for 2 hours solid. And at the end, I understood my whole life. He was able to pull the mother lode lie that was beat into me as a child. And after that, my life changed drastically. I had been in intense poverty. And after that, the windows of heaven opened and beautiful things began to happen to me. Even of, you know, I always like to tell the story of the FedEx knock at the door, and believing that anything is possible, and believing that money can fall from heaven, really, you know. And when I never budget, I never plan financially. I believe that I am not the breadwinner. God is the one who cares for me and leads me, and I find everything I need. I can download anything I need. And so I had this knock at the door. It was an envelope from FedEx, and I thought it was bill collectors, from what my ex-husband did. And I open it, and it's $50,000 donation from an anonymous donor, use as needed, no receipt necessary. 6 months later, $100,000, same thing, knock at the door, FedEx, and that kind of thing happened to me ever since. And so I am spirit led. I don't doubt. I don't fear. I don't worry. I don't beg God. I don't cry about, oh, I need this. Oh, help me, help me. Everything's changed. That was me for my whole life. And now it's like I trust, and I know that if I believe that all things are possible to me, and whatever I believe will happen to me. And I try to impart this to people, but it's very hard to get through the brainwashing of the matrix. So because I suffered so greatly my entire life, I wanted to produce every kind of relief I could possibly produce that would help people. Because, when I was suffering, there was no one for me. No one cared. No one helped me. And I was alone. And I asked God to give me music from the kingdom realm that would heal people. And so I went into the studio with no music, and I asked him to blow through me. I play 13 different flutes from all over the world. And it was like a scary thing at first because I didn't know my first note. But after I started doing it, I became addicted to it because it was a rush, for him to come and blow through me. I could feel his breath blowing through me. And when I would play concerts outside all over the nation, it was like I was calling in the four winds, and people would say that. They'd say, you must be Cherokee. And I think I am, actually. But that wind would come in out of nowhere with no prediction in the weather report, and it would pull up great big tent pegs. It would grab my flutes from off the table and take them up into the air. It would take the speakers, and they would be falling, and everyone's trying to grab everything. And then, I would also bring the best weather they've ever had wherever I went. If I went to Ireland and they had 3 weeks full of rain, the sun was out the day I came, and it stayed until I left. And the same thing, I just came back from Michigan, and they had like 50 degrees, 55. I never needed a coat. And the day I left, the temperature plunged down. I've got to get rid of my emails 1 second so I don't have that beep. Okay. All right. And so anyway, the joy and the honor of having God blow his healing breath through me is something that I will never take for granted, and I love. And I'm about to start doing concerts for the people online. I just ordered new equipment since my ex-husband sold all my equipment for drugs. And so I'm about to come back. I am being resurrected from the dead and coming back. And I believe that's what's needed right now. So, back in 2003, God spoke to me, and he said, there is coming a day in the world, a time of great upheaval, when I will use you like I did Shirley Temple. And he said he wanted to use my voice, the sound of a lullaby mother's voice, to comfort the hearts of the people. And so I knew something was coming, but I just thought it was another Great Depression, And 2011, a movie producer's wife told me the same thing, word for word. And so suddenly, here we are. It has come. It is time for me. I've been hidden away for about 14 years in obscurity, not knowing why, not knowing what was ahead, but just very content and just in a lot of meditative, quiet time and loving it, really. But a year ago, I felt a stirring in my spirit. It's time to come out. It's time. The people need me. It's my turn. I have a part to play right now, but I didn't know how it would happen. And suddenly I was thrown into social media and went viral immediately. And it was quite jarring, actually. And so, anyway, some of the other things that came sovereignly to me were therapies, one-of-a-kind therapies, and teachings that help people get unstuck in various ways in their lives. And it was all based on what I needed to get unstuck from, and how God showed me the door of escape, the way through the wilderness into a day of freedom. Okay. And so I developed a therapy through 60 visions, and it included massage therapy, but it was a very interesting form of massage that was like surreal, otherworld, like love was coming through my hands, and I would sing while I was doing it. And it would be like this dance, and very hard to explain, but a lot of massage therapists say that, oh yeah, I dance, mine feels like a dance too, but no. This is different. This is so different. And people feel elevated off the table. They feel weightless. They feel like they have transcended into the real world. And it is such a joy for me too, because I play my own music during the session, and I feel it choreographed just perfectly. And it's like, it surprises me how choreographed it is, and it also includes essential oils, raindrop therapy. It includes craniosacral, which I call laying out of hands for the spinal fluid. It includes emotional release and a destiny song at the end. And every single one of those therapies all work together to accomplish the same thing. And that is to get rid of the misconception and the lie that is the main misunderstanding in your mind about life and about yourself, so that you can fly. You can fly unhindered in life. And people sob so much on the table. I have to have Kleenex, or actually paper towel under the table, because it's that much. And then at the end, the joy that they have, they are transformed. You can tell they look 10 years younger, and they are at least an inch to an inch and a half taller than they were before. And so I love the session. It's about 2.5 hours long. However, when I came to Texas 5 years ago, God said, you need to pass the baton, because you can't concentrate on one-on-one, because the masses need you. And so I'm going to be starting a school in Texas to pass on what I was given. And so then the motivational speaking, I didn't know what to do, during the COVID scamdemic. And so I began to train people through a weekly class. And I think I even did it almost every night for a while, in order to keep people stable. I knew that my job and my calling was to keep people stable, bring relief, comfort, encouragement, and be like a mama to help them understand how amazing they are, how incredible their destiny is, how greatly God esteems them, and help launch them, all of these things. And so I would come up with a teaching every week that would be something that would help them get unstuck in that particular area of life. And so I came up with healing for family rejection, which is very key. Now, this was before, everybody got rejected by their families, and it was all I was a forerunner in everything that was going to be needed right now. And so, and it helped. It was something that was my breakthrough. And so I was able to speak from my own healing. And my entire class was like, I took their breath away. They were like, you just explained my whole life. And then he gave me another one for freedom from anxiety because I had panic attacks. And so I had a whole protocol of how to help them learn to breathe. First of all, how to corral the earthly mind, and to and then use the music and the oils and everything. So we have a whole like first aid kit for anxiety and insomnia, and people are using it right now and having great success. I've never had someone say it didn't work for them. Usually in 5 minutes, the panic has stopped, the anxiety has gone, and people go to sleep in 5 minutes a lot of times. So, and then I taught a class. I had an intensive training for condensed emotional release, and it's like a 2-week training, but I condensed it down so that I could help people quickly to pull lies out of their lives. And so I actually did a group therapy for social media people, and we had a lie pulling party, because I don't believe therapy has to be painful. We don't need to go back and talk about the pain. That's the problem, you know. And so all of these classes were helping people survive what we've just been through, and not only survive, but thrive. And then preparation for the deprogramming to assist your loved ones. I gave a whole protocol, especially as pertaining to Christians, because Christians seem to want to be in your face and tell you what to believe. And you know, that's not the way to do it. And so I wanted to open their eyes to a better way, you know, asking the right questions, being there, being quiet, being a good listener. And then the whole protocol for what is the first thing they need. They don't need a scripture. No, they need their needs met. If they're crying and they can't breathe, you need to help them breathe. You know, if they're in pain, you need to help them with that. If they're suicidal, whatever. But, you know, I was trying to help them see another way than they have known in the past. All right. So trying to stretch people's minds that if your way has not worked in all these years, it's insanity to continue it. We need to find the way that works. All right. And so, the music, I need to back up. The music that I produced, I wanted to, I guess I did talk about that. So I have a different CD for every issue that they would have. So there's a whole functional product description sheet to help people pick whatever they're going to need. All right. And so, what I would like to do tonight for you superheroes who are skilled at going into the real world is, and I'm not sure, you know, if you even need this, but I would like to potentially blow your mind as to your superhuman powers. And so, if you can have a pen and paper and essential oil handy, I will give you kind of a super condensed emotional cleansing in the area of preparing you to launch into your highest destiny. Once we go through the door into this new world, I mean, some of us are already there. I'm sure all of you are already in the new world, but maybe just expand your mind as to what God thinks of you tonight, even more than you've ever known. All right, so if you have an essential oil, if you want to just inhale, just put a little on your hand and inhale. 3 big inhales. So I would like to make a resume for you of your new world life. And so I'm going to list characters, traits, and gifts and skills right now. And when I say one that fits you, write it down. And if some others come to you before I even say them, feel free to go ahead and write them down. All right. Does this describe you? I'm kind, gentle, considerate, loyal, devoted, trustworthy, dependable, supernatural, compassionate, sympathetic, understanding, hospitable, loving, empathetic, generous, a good listener, wise, honest, a person of high integrity, a people helper, encourager, insightful, discerning, strong, risk taker, adventurous, ambitious, high achiever, cooperative, team player, passionate, nurturing, fun. You have a positive outlook, not a quitter, an endurance person, have a great imagination, problem solver, organized, teacher, planner, leader, intelligent, witty, responsible, spiritually minded, defender of the defenseless, a writer, a speaker, perceptive, creative, healer, entrepreneur, talented, faithful, gift of faith, thoughtful, musical, courageous, mature. You excel at business. Mystical, prophetic, insightful, stable, secure, hard worker, humanitarian, a good friend, mediator, peacemaker, competent, proficient, confident, sensible, thorough, overcomer. And the list could go on and on and on as you think about your life and what your skills are, writing down everything you're good at, things that people said you were good at, and just make the list as long as you can. And then when you get done, you look at it and you ask yourself, would you hire this person? And according to whatever the negative words are that were in your head from childhood, if there are any that still remain, you look at this list and say, could this person that has all of these qualities possibly be not good enough, or whatever the lie was? And it blows the lie out of the water. And you see yourself on paper, not maybe ever having realized how much is in you, how much you've been given, how much you have to offer, and how beautiful you really are. These are the characteristics of a person who was chosen for this time in history. For a reason. And to accept that you are this beautiful is to honor God. And then I have people write down their ideal life. If you could have your ideal life with no hindrance of any kind, what would it look like? Where would you live? What would it look like? Would you have more than one location? Because if you're scope of influence is worldwide, would it make more sense to have 2 homes, 2 locations or more, so that you could do more good because you don't waste time in travel? It's not about things, it's about, how much more good you could do if you didn't have to spend all that time in travel. What would your health look like? Do you believe that you can reverse the aging process? I mean, we've got the med beds coming and everything, but I believe we can reverse the aging process now. I believe we have a med bed within us right now. And I love the group that I'm talking to, because I just know that you get me. You have already been there. You understand what I'm talking about. We don't have to wait for anything. We can have our ideal life now. We can have our highest destiny now. And financially, what would your bank account look like if you were going to do all the things that you long to do in the world? What would it look like? Spirituality. Where do you want to go? How high do you want to go? And I know you've already thought about that. You've already experienced it and have, it's already laid out in your heart. What would your relationships look like? What would your career look like? Or your ministry, if you will, your occupation? How far-reaching is it? I don't believe that I have to be limited to how much I can achieve. I believe that if I know how to delegate, there is no limit to what I can do. And so my list is very long about what I plan to do in the world. And then when you write it all down and you dream as big as you can possibly dream on it, then you understand that the reason that you were able to write it down with no prior thought process, it just comes right out of you, is because your spirit can read the inside wall of your DNA blueprint. And since God, the creator, is the one that wrote the blueprint, he already said yes to all your dreams. And so what you did is you just saw the future. And when the point that you stopped dreaming and you felt like it was big enough, like it was outrageous as it is, that was God's jumping off point. And the bigger we dream, that the more excited he gets. And then in the session, I would end it with a destiny song that would be tailor-made for the person. And so I don't know if you've heard my destiny song for the Patriots, but it really does talk about you. And so we can give you the link to that if you haven't heard it. And I really believe that I'm speaking to the generals here tonight. I believe I'm speaking to the Avengers, the superheroes that will lead the people into the real world, because they're still so stuck in their minds. They think they're awake, but there are so many ways that their minds are still trapped in the confines of a box. And there are very few people, I believe, in the world right now whose minds are unfettered, unconfined. And so I just want to honor you today. and bless you for being a freedom fighter, for being a dreamer who believes that the possibilities are endless. You don't believe in the impossible. And so you were chosen to live at this time in history for a reason. And I just, I thank God for you. I don't even know you, but that's what I perceive about you. So I appreciate and want to thank you for the honor of addressing you tonight.
Wow.
Thank
Let
you.
everybody comment because this is amazing. Everybody turn your mics off. Turn your mics on. Chance.
Oh my gosh.
That was amazing.
I'm flying, Tressie. That's so amazing. Like I knew we were going to get blessed. I didn't know we were going to get our superhuman status elevated. Like, that was freaking amazing. Like, I'm all dusting off my wings already. Like, woo, let's go.
Every week I
And
wear a
Chance has got on his
Superman shirt.
He's got on his Superman shirt.
Every week.
Man, that's so beautiful. Woo!
What's it say, Tressie? You can do what?
You know, it's that lady from the war. We can do it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm speechless. And that doesn't happen often.
Wow. Amazing. Just amazing.
I would say something as you were speaking this. I'm more of an auditory person rather than to write things down. I listen and I concentrate. And as I was listening to each word that you said, I could see different things happening in me. I could feel different things happening in me that makes me evaluate myself. And I was, thinking back, generous, kind, all the other words that you used. I had examples going through my brain. It was just like in fast forward, and I was finishing up with another one, and here you come with another one, and it was pretty phenomenal. And I guess what I want to say is I thank you for that experience. I thank you for that experience.
I wanted to say something real quick. So it's funny, as I was listening to her, she may be able to relate or she may not. She reminds me a very particular race of wind spirits. They're kind of like sylphs, but they are these very musical beings that assist with fractal shedding. Kind of like they shed layers, they help with. What's neat about it, it's the formula that I've seen them capable of doing. It's not to do a clearing, it's to make you aware of it, that you have to do the clearing yourself. So it's like an orchestra of frequencies and visuals, and it's tons of undertones. These beings of they are beings of light, but it's nice. It's actually nice and refreshing that, yeah, you kind of remind me of these particular elementals, but they are like considered wind spirits and by their own in their own nature. But yeah, thank you, Tressie.
This powerful $99 drone is now available in the U.S.
Yeah, and I've listened to the Destiny song several times. So whenever you all have a chance to pop over and listen to it, it's amazing, and it will seal all these beautiful words of this resume that Tressie spoke. And it reminds me of something I was just reminded of a couple of months ago is we are all creators, we're all producers. So if you sit and take a couple of deep breaths in, get a pen and paper, just like Tressie said, you can write the script of your life. You can write who's in it, who's not in it, who has the starring role, and then watch all of those things start to unfold. And we talk about this often. We are healers. We have the capability of healing our bodies. It's knowing yourself and asking that, if something's bothering you, you can say to your ear, why are you hurting today? What is going on? It's this side, and see if there's something that was missing, and heal. And I love this resume because it reminds me of in the medical field, they started giving us evaluations, and I never agreed with the evaluation because I was just like, that's not me. That's not me who you're describing on that paper. So then they got into this habit. I think they were being a little lazy, to be honest. And they said, you can evaluate yourself first, and then we'll do an evaluation. So I gave myself all fives, which is like amazing. And then my boss at the time was like, you're not all fives. And I go, yes, I am. You asked me to evaluate myself, and this is the score I'm giving myself. And then she's like, well, I have to knock some of these down. And why? Because if she paid me according to those fives, the hospital would go broke. But don't undervalue yourself. Like, and this is who you are. You're top 10. You're so deserving of all of this deposit that God has placed inside of you. You're so deserving of all of it. And to walk around in your superhuman status as this generous, loving, kind, amazing human being. And then be ready and be prepared to be there for the collective, for our fellow man, because they're going to need us. So, yes. And then Tressie, I don't know if you want to tell people if you already have a plan of where the school is going to be. I saw some questions as to where you are in Texas and where the school is going to be. And then also, I believe I gave the information of your websites so that they can put those across the screen to let folks know where to find you. And I am so honored. Thank you so much. I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight. I'm going to dance all night. I'm so excited and honored that you blessed us.
Yeah, I don't believe we need sleep. I think we can download sleep. I've downloaded sleep. I've downloaded supplements. You can download anything you need. We're so confined. We have to stop being human. I don't believe we're human, right? So anyway, go ahead, Doc. Did you have?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something, Tressie. I wanted to find out if the song could be available on MP3 and if I could start playing it for my listeners.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a video, but you can play it as an MP3 as well.
I can record it. Okay. Is it on YouTube as well?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, go ahead, Chance.
Yeah. We'll make sure you have the link for it.
Thank you.
I gave it as a gift to the world to help people understand what God thinks of them and who they really are. How amazing. And it was quite the challenge to do a Destiny song for everyone. But the thing is, we are all chosen to be at this time in history for a reason. So we all have certain qualities that we share at this time, So it turned out, it fit people, and it is changing them. They play it on repeat. So.
Well, let me share this with you. This is a song. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a song I wrote. If you can see it, this is called Bonfire, and it's about the joining of people together to create something that's special. That's what this is, special.
Thank you. Awesome.
I don't know whether you knew this or not, because we're here for you tonight. We're not here for me. But I, too, am a professional musician. I've I haven't toured the world, but I've toured the United States with a lot of different bands, mostly pop, rock, country, that type of thing. And I play 3 instruments fluently, and I have an uncanny talent for writing pop music. And I mean, literally on the fly, I get a subject matter going, and all of a sudden, this just like the words and the music pour into me, and I can literally sit down at the piano and compose on the spot. And I've done that several different times for a lot of more talented musicians than myself, and they have said to me, "Where's this coming from? Where are you?" It's good, but and then other ones, they get jealous and they storm off. But you know how the world of pop musicians are, you know, and um, I'm going to share with you my favorite story, Tressie. My daughter and I performed as a duo and in a band, pop rock country type thing. We haven't done it in many years because our bass player passed away, and it just kind of took the wind out of our sails. But we're going to get back into it again. And my daughter and I were singing "You've Lost That Loving Feeling" by the Righteous Brothers, and at a casino. And during the performance, I could hear the echoes of our voice coming from all four corners, and it was but there was something else weird going on. I just didn't quite understand it. And we got done, and then you know how the song stops, and then it stops, and then bring back that love and feeling again, one more chorus, and it was over. And of course, people were all sitting at the machines and the tables, and there wasn't much of a crowd. Got a few little applauses, but here comes the owner of the casino. And he said to me, this is the best compliment we ever got, too, by the way. He says, "Chance, wow, you and your daughter really knocked that out of the park." And I said, "Well, thank you very much." And he said, "Never play it in any of my casinos again." And I go, "What?" It really set me off. And he says, everybody stopped gambling. Everybody said where they were at, and that's what I was hearing: the lack of noise and the casino noises and stuff.
Oh.
And he says, never. He says, "You probably cost me $10,000 in that 4 minute song." He says, "So never play it again." So
Yes.
that's the best compliment I ever had.
That's awesome.
A great compliment too. And Tressie, they're asking the hurts of the music and the song.
I don't know, but I will tell you that there was a point that a guy named Michael Terrell came on the scene years ago, like I think 2017, 18, and he helped to make people aware of the intonation issue that the cabal did to our music. And so, I have, 13 different flutes, and a lot of them are bamboo and wooden. I have, an Irish snow whistle. I have a metal C flute, and I have a bass flute. And those can be tuned to the right intonation, but the ones that are in wood and bamboo cannot be changed. And so now I have to get all new flutes. But here I had, 15 CDs, and people were healed all over the world. And they're going to tell me that my music's no good because it's not tuned to the right, intonation. And so I asked God about it. And he said, "When I blow through you, it changes everything. It changes it to the God frequency." So 963 hertz is the God frequency. But also, I have CDs that are recorded at 55 beats per minute, which lowers the heart rate the blood pressure and causes the brain to operate at theta state, which is the perfect state to throw off negative emotions and heal the body. And so the deepest and most medicinal CDs are My Healing Place. We use that for autism and anxiety, panic attacks, PTSD, insomnia, and then Utopia. Those two, and we're actually sold out. You can get the MP3, but we're sold out of the CDs right now and getting ready to reorder. And then Bliss CD for depression, and I have several others available. But I just got a 445 hertz bamboo clarinet. Just got it. I'm going to get all new flutes coming into this new year, and I'm going to go on a USO tour and do frequency music that will heal people, because not only will I have the right frequencies for the right issues, but I'll have the breath of God blowing through me to the crowd.
Yes.
So I believe miracles are going to happen.
Amen. Count me in for a concert.
Yeah, you don't have to get rid of your older flutes because they're already attuned to your frequency. Because it's an attuning device. So if you feel the need, you have to get some. Just think of it more like I'm rewarding myself.
Yeah. Well, thank
But
you.
you don't have to get rid of anything because
Thank you so much. That's quite an awesome thought. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes. And then Doc, Shelly she said in the private chat, she put some of the links. I don't know if you can see them.
I will check.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so someonebelievesyou.org is the website for those listening. Someonebelievesyou.org. And then you go into shop and you drop down and you'll be able to see therapeutic services, which you'll see the Ascension recordings that I did. I really recommend his story about your history, because the creator is called the Ancient of Days, and he's been thinking about you his entire life, and it's all good, and it blows people's minds as to, and you can ask him, tell me some of those thoughts you've had, and keep building your resume, and it's a beautiful thing, and then the music is all there under shop, and then drop down to music.
Yep, that one's .org.
Gotcha.
.org, yes.
.org.
Believesyou.org. Yep.
Awesome. That's awesome. So blessed. So blessed. Yeah. So and I want to thank DocG and Chance and Debbie and Fascinating Brian for letting me come out of the shadows to bring Trusty in. I usually hide, and I'm usually texting Chance in the background, or if I don't get on the show, I listen and go, hey, you forgot something. So thank you all for allowing me to come on today. And
yeah.
You're always welcome.
You know how they say the last 5 minutes of your night will shape your next day and your life. And so to complete this session tonight, I would go to bed tonight and picture your ideal life. Picture what you would like to manifest, and just listen, in that quiet place, and go up, ascend, and because this is an opportunity to do that.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Very appreciative.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you, Shelly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're welcome to stay with us for the rest of the show. I have a few things I have to cover, some of my financial obligations, but everybody knows about Immucyst Advance, okay? Immucyst Advance will supercharge whatever you are taking, but I haven't really addressed the fact that when you wake up in the morning and you have brain fog, I usually require a lot of coffee, but this, put a few drops of this in your iced tea or whatever you're usually drinking. 10 drops is what's recommended. And you can watch that brain fog go away. It's very powerful stuff here. My son takes 10 drops in the morning, 10 drops at night, just like I do. Okay. This, I take this with my APL Go products, and I only endorse products that work and that I believe in and that I use. So keep that in mind. I am very picky. Another thing that I use for my dogs, everybody knows I have 7 dogs, is raworigins.pet. It's a frozen tube, comes frozen, about like so, of raw meat with vegetables and healthy things added for your dog, and the cats love it too. And this stuff is, the dogs go crazy over it. The dogs absolutely go crazy over it. And what I would suggest you do is go to raworigins.pet and check out the website. Just like Immucyst Advance, I want you to check that out because it's immucystadvance.com. And if you order Immucyst Advance, you use the code ChanceChat1515, or Chance Chat, I guess it is, Chance Chat. Then you get $5 off per bottle. So if you order 5 bottles, you get $5 off per bottle, not just the order. So keep that in mind. And also, if you're interested in this exemption from vaccines, masks, and mandates, it's a lanyard. It does not come with the lanyard. It's just the card. It's full color. It was designed by me. It's signed by me as a American national and a constitutional lawyer. And it looks very, very official, and it has absolutely no standing, just exactly like the mandates that they put upon us. So if you're getting hassled, you get 2 of these for $20. Use the same Cash App and Zelle there, and we'll send them out to you. We got them ready to go. We can send them out anytime. And the last thing I'm going to cover before I turn everything over to Debbie from APL Go, and that is one product that everybody on the show uses religiously. Even Kent Dunn uses it, and that is his lady. And but I want you to write down Chance Chat 1515 if you need a trust. The 2 trusts, which are ironclad and valid on both sides of the RV, pre-RV, post-RV, okay? And they are $2,100 for both trusts, and I have checked them both out. I have read them both. I have them both. And I highly recommend you get one if you can afford it. If not, get yourself a skeleton trust after the event and then contact us, okay? But there's a lot of bad people out there that like to get their hands on you, and we are here for you, folks, okay? Chance Chat 1515 will get you a $300 discount if you buy either one or both together, okay? Nikki, get your hat back on. So, guys, and I'm going to run the sciatica story by you one more time. Had sciatica. Tracy, have you ever had sciatica?
No.
You're never lucky. Have? No. You are blessed, because it's a pain in your groin, and there's no such thing as a comfortable position. There's no such thing as no pain, and you can take every pill in the world and it still doesn't do any good. It's still there. I had all the samples from APL Go. I was checking the product out to make sure it worked, and I used SLP, RLX, Stop, and STP. Stop pain, relax, and help me, Debbie.
STP, SLD, and relax.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I used.
Yeah.
And I used I used it three times a day, 3 lozenges, morning, noon, and night. And on the third day, I wake up and I'm thinking, there's just something going on here because I'm not feeling hardly any pain. After using them that night, on the 4th day, the pain was gone. Okay. Everybody here has had positive reactions. Even Kent Dunn, he was always laughing about how happy his wife is. Happy life, happy wife, happy life, that type of thing. And the stuff works, okay? And
Yeah.
there's specials going on right now. And Debbie Stevens' information is right on the screen right now. And it's also on the site on the chat. So if you need any of that stuff, please get a hold of her because I'm telling you, it works. Did Earlene or Charlene get a hold of you from Texas?
Not
Yeah?
yet. Not yet.
Okay, Earlene and Charlene, you got Debbie's number right there. Okay, I know you guys are listening tonight, and if not, I'll send you the link. I have a personal relationship with just about everybody that's in our group, Teresa, and it's just it's a very exciting thing that I did not plan, and God sent me on this journey, and I've met some amazing people, just amazing people, and I've been blessed to be able to help some of them with some of their legal problems, and we're still working on some for others, and we're anxious for Nassar and Gassara to get here so that we can resolve a lot of the injustices that have been thrust upon everybody because of the crooked admiralty courts and the maritime equity bozo circus. And I'm very outspoken about how I feel about these people. And I've been targeted a few times. Okay. And in fact, when we first got this show started, they were running a lot of interference on me, if you remember. Now, I don't know if it's because we're on more platforms now than we were when we first started, but I call them the cable guys, okay? Because I got to watch my words I use because I don't want to get flagged by YouTube or Rumble or anything like that. But I call them the cable guys, cable cabal, that type of thing. And they don't like me. Now, I'm not a big draw like Phil Godlewski. I don't have 24 million followers, but the people that follow are very loyal. They're very caring people, and I like helping them with their problems any way that I can. And they have, in turn and in kind, helped me with my problems. And I consider these relationships all heaven sent. I can't tell you how much these people mean to me, my listeners and my family. They're not just listeners, and they're not my people. They're God's people. But sometimes I slip up and say that my people. Oh gosh, stop that, Chance! You don't do that. But I've watched you a couple times online, and I was very impressed how. Can I ask? Just I know you can't say it over the phone because I can't say mine. I just I got a General Steve that I talk to with the white hats. That's not his real name. It's just something I make up, and we can't talk about our contacts, but people do like hearing the updates that I'm getting. And one of the updates that I just got, Teresa, was that the Republic of the United States Treasury has sent U.S. Marshals out to be the field agents at the banks and at the redemption centers. They are in transit. And I feel that information is pretty darn accurate because I don't hear anybody else talking about it. And of course, General Steve gave me the information. And another thing that I like sharing with people is I do this live on Facebook on Sundays at 2:00, and I do another one at Facebook live at 5 on Tuesdays. And I reported on Tuesday that the Chinese elders have seen the monies in the accounts ready to be distributed. And I just wanted to know if there's anything for the listeners that you could add about that, Teresa.
Well, that's true. We do have a Chinese, a guy that is in the Chinese elders group, and he gives us updates all the time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my last update. Let's see.
And can you guys hear me?
Let's see.
Can you
Yes.
hear me? Oh, okay. So, and Chance, just so you know, Tressie was here for our spiritual aspect. So I don't know if she was going to say good night before you did your RV stuff, just so that she
Right.
knows.
Yeah.
Did you hear me, Tressie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a part of the show where Chance goes into his RV stuff. So I know
Okay.
you were here for all of your spiritual beauty. So
Yeah. Let me see. I've got the update.
You know what's funny? Tressie? I was watching you the other night on TikTok, and I didn't even know who you were. And now I just met you, and you're on one of Chance's shows.
Oh,
She had the big hat on, the big white hat.
Yep, the big hat. Yep.
Yeah.
let's see.
Amazing. You don't know who's watching you, who's seeing you, but when you find out, it's just amazing. It's just me. It's amazing.
Let's see. Let's see.
It's a friend of you.
It was a good update, I'll tell you that.
Well, the thing is, guys, we can't have dead air because we are live on the radio
Yeah,
too.
okay.
So
All right. All right. Let me just go into.
Just keep on talking. That's all.
Yeah.
It's,
sorry. Let's see.
It's a privilege to have you on our show too, by the way. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if
Well-
I had known I was going to give an update, I would have gotten it ready for you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And no,
Sorry.
Tressie, you weren't obligated for that. You were
No,
here
I
for
know.
all of the
I
spiritual.
know, but it was such a good one. I would like to encourage people
I love that.
with it. All right, let's
We
see.
sincerely appreciate it.
Okay. I'm
Anyway,
almost there.
Why don't we just go ahead and while she's searching the information?
I got it. I actually have it. Yeah, I got it
Okay,
up.
great.
Okay.
Okay, so you know the St. Germain Trust kicked off on Christmas Day. And then right after New Year's, they were able to move forward with some of the events tied to the prosperity packages. They actually did announce the USN publicly, but they did it through the Starlink satellite through select media channels because they did not want many people to see that. This is what I've been accused of and kind of scolded for. Why did they? If it happened, we would have seen it. No, you wouldn't, because they did not want people to see it, because then they would have to educate the people. They're not ready to educate yet. That's the whole reason. And so it was announced through back channels, and that announcement made it legal. That's what they needed to do. They needed to get it out there and make it legal, and then they could go forward. And so now they're ready to go forward with a totally public announcement. So that means we're right at the door. I don't know if you know that one of the delays that we had recently was that NATO tried to take over the RV. They stopped them pretty quick. The World Court is an arbiter between the countries, and they are doing a lot of work with the legal team in order to make sure that we are everything is in line according to common law. That's what they're doing right now. It's all about making sure every move we make is going to be in line with common law. So that's a big deal that people just don't understand.
It is huge, and what most people don't realize is we're only going to get one shot at this. All the T's have got to be crossed, and
There
all
you
the
go.
I's have to be dotted. And uh, you know, I'm just going to say I'll be smiling from ear to ear when I find out all these crooked bar attorneys are going to be uh, going to get Mo or to be completely re-educated, because the way they're treating people now, they're victimizing people and using the Admiralty Court as a weapon against we the people, and it's criminal.
Yeah, but
There
they're
were
doing
some
it.
really
ahead.
really big meetings this week to go forward. All right, so we are right there at the door. There's nothing really left to do. It's just fine tuning that common law part. That's all there is. Everything else is done, and the bankers are ready, and they feel that it is within a week of time now. And so we're right there. I wish I could find my written notes because those are so much easier to read. Um, but it's about to happen. Definitely about to happen.
Right, and that's why I've been pushing people to get these trusts if they can, and if they can't afford it, I understand it. And it's okay. Just get yourself a skeleton trust when you go in, and then get a hold of me. You've got my number and my contact information, and we can get you set up with a trust at Post RV. You're going to have 90 days to get that trust added to your bank account, so you're going to be okay. But we want to make sure that the bad guys that come along and they're going to try to get their hands into your wallet and your QFS card and anything else they can. But I missed most of the show. Oh, I'm going to listen tomorrow at the gym. Yeah. No, yes. Debbie is in Florida. She's our investigative reporter in Florida. She's our Lois Lane, and she is talked about the Miami Mall. And you know what happened with all the cops and the aliens there?
Do I?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Well,
Got-
there's a lot of people that were shopping, and all of a sudden, there were very large people, anywhere from 7 to 9 foot tall. They were very unusual, and they called all the police out that they could get to the mall. People were running out of the mall and everything, and they had said that it was kids with sticks and everything. It wasn't. They're saying that it was creatures and possibly the Nephilims. But
Oh, wow.
who knows what
Did
it is?
anybody go up and touch them, Debbie?
They didn't. They didn't say. I think they all ran. But
I've seen photographs. It looks pretty good. I mean, and a big deal if it was. As long as they're not causing disturbance, I say howdy, neighbor.
Well, nobody's talking about it. Nobody. Nothing.
Wasn't on the news. Wasn't on the news either, right?
Nope. Nothing on the news. Nothing at all.
Well,
Only about the shooting that was up in my neck of the woods today, up in Iowa. Yeah, that was
You can
a
expect
bad
this
scene.
as the normal parameters because, like I said, it's continual psyops, right? So,
Unfortunately, yeah.
it's catfishing. This is what the white hats are doing as a part of the cleanup while the new laws become standardized, not regulation, not any third person nuance or broad perception based wording. They're working on standardizing everything. You
Right.
wouldn't think that. So in order for that to come to what you would call whatever idea Nasser is, they're going to make everything standard.
Mhm.
It's not, I know even that word can be broad, but you be surprised how solidified and concrete it is. But that's what my intel is, what I get on what's going on with that stuff.
I did. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I forgot to say they did cut all the power. There was like 62,000 people in Miami that did not have any power, and they cut. There was everything from the helicopters that were running around. There was only one helicopter that was up, and it was a Black Hawk. The other one, the airport. Nobody was in and out of the airport. It was shut down. So. Yep,
well, there's a
that's
lot of
what
weird
happened.
energies and a lot of weird things going on all over the snow globe, and I do want to tell you that I think it's all good. I think we're all blessed. I think we're all opening our hearts and our minds every day. I think we are to the point where we're exhausted and we're ready for a resolution. And I'm going to take some time off. I'll still be doing my show. This show will become nothing but a music show. Okay, it'll be all about music. My experiences in the music business of being in it for 50 some years, and different bands I've played with, and reflections upon good music of the day. And so be prepared to talk about everything from the Beatles to Dave Brubeck to Waylon Jennings, because that's what the show is going to be about. It's going to be about everything. And that's why I love Hamilton Radio so much, because they play it all. They play, and there's no such thing as music they won't play. Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. In fact, we have Rona Barrett from the In Vogue hopefully coming on. She's a life coach right now. I just met her yesterday at a Zoom meeting, and she's an amazing person. And she's a very, very lovable lady. So I'm going to invite her on to Chance's show very, very soon.
Awesome.
Beautiful. That's great.
That's cool.
I did want to say, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say about APL Go. It seems like everybody is having aches and pains right now. I would recommend the stop, the slide, the relax, and then also with her music, I think you'd be set up for life. So I think everything would work out. Yes.
Don't forget to give this advance.
That's yeah. Everything all complete. But you can give me a call, and like I say, everything does work. So just if you feel as if you're in need of something, don't hesitate. Like I said, this is from the Tesla technology. So it's the negative ions in it. So you're going to need that. And you're going to need that for your celestial bed beds. There's one thing that says the beauty. It shows everything that's in it that is possibly there. And so you've got your dandelion, you've got your pomegranate, you've got your milk thistle, and everything else that I can't see right now because I can't get close enough. But anyway, so, you've got your meadowsweet leaves, just on and on and on what it has in it. It's got the strawberry, the ginseng, it's got the ashwagandha. So it's got everything there for you. So just call if anybody has anything wrong with you.
Debbie Stevens' telephone number is 515. Is that right?
515
Okay.
314-4948.
Oh, I've got the wrong number up there. There it is. It's on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it on a link up here, but I put the wrong number in. Holy cow!
Oh,
what's
don't
wrong
put the
with
wrong
me?
number. I'm not the wise account girl, but I'll answer the question.
Yeah. If you don't know about the Wise account, I've spent a lot of time, and so has Kent Dunn, telling everybody how to set up your Wise account. Go to wise.com and set up your account. Put at least $59 in it, and it is going to change value before. If you do this before the recreational vehicle happens, then you're going to see it change value. And that's what I've been teaching you all. And Kent Dunn has done the same things. We've been doing it for months. And now we got a lot of people panicking because we know this thing's close and they want to get that extra bump. So, personal update. Megan, the puppy, the 10-year-old girl dog that I posted pictures on, she's doing okay. She's not great, but she's very active, very very tough dog. And she's not crying now, but she's been a good girl tonight, and she hasn't been crying. And she was viciously attacked by one of our other dogs, who has since tried to apologize. I know I'm a dog whisperer, okay, but anyway, I've forgiven her, and we're just not going to give her the opportunity to do that anymore. But that's me and my bad for having 7 dogs. And I'm going to get a house out in the country, and then I'm going to remedy that. Okay, so that'll be all good. But I want to thank everyone for their generous donations for Megan. The vet bill was over $1,500, and I've received over $750 in donations, and God bless you for that. And I really appreciate it. I am just overwhelmed that Teresa could be here with us tonight. And Miss Nikki, it's always a pleasure to see you. You non-Zoom caller, you. I give her a call, and I FaceTime her, on the messenger, so I can see her face to face, like I do Maria and Tara and some of the other ladies I speak with, and she never goes on there. She just way too bad.
I think you should get permission for your FaceTime. Like sometimes I'm like about to brush my teeth or something.
Well, we're all human, or all some of us are. Anyway, sorry, Brian.
Nope.
But yeah,
I just a little insight, a little history on Fascinating Brian. Fascinating Brian and I, he joined the W4 group, and we've talked a few times. And I said, you're a fascinating guy. And I said, I'm getting ready to start my own show on Hamilton Radio, and I think you ought to be my co-host. And he says, well, I just don't think I'm ready for that. And, he kind of bowed out nicely, and he's been here just about every show. And I praise Jesus for that, because he brings in a lot of insightful wisdom, and being an angelic, he's definitely one of a kind here on HamiltonRadio.net.
Thank you so very
much. That's what I got to say about that.
I actually got a message from the group of Christs that were here. So they wanted to make something known to every one of you, and to be aware, and to give you an opportunity. So this request, many of you probably won't appreciate. Some of you will find it hard in its understanding, but in the end, they still want me to say it. So what they said is, we don't want your prayers. Let me explain why. So the Christ, the idea of who they are, when you say, I'm going to give you an example, praise Jesus, you're giving prayer, meaning you're giving your power to an idea. You're just giving away the energy without thought. They would like it if you could be aware of the type of energy you wish to delegate or give or gift or produce as a representative of Christos or Christ's creators. Okay? So they're not saying don't pray. You can pray. You can pray. You can give self-prayer for gratitude. You can give self expressions of growth through prayer. or you can gift the prayer of healing. You can gift the prayer of protection, whatever is necessary. But as long as you understand, you are giving a portion of you, your creative power, away. Does it come back? It always comes back. It's yours. You're quite limitless. But when you just give it without understanding it, you really don't know where it goes to, the energy. And because a lot of the words, the spells that have been hijacked in the word, in creation and creativity, you are giving it to things that seem like they're like, but they're not. They're not. And they are creating a void, kind of like a nice little portal to pull all your energy, your creativity in these ideas that really don't represent a very broad or general name or perspective. So they got you there. I'm going to tell you, and they're agreeing with me. You got tricked in the magic or the wording. So the opportunity is yours to learn to construct your own prayer or idea of what a Christ being would be willing to gift as an eternal being. And that was by them. And even the one that you guys traditionally believe to be the Jesus in the Bible. So he just wanted everyone to be aware of that. The angelics had one thing to share with me because they've been pushing it too. The ascension, there is no we. There's no we in the idea of how we change is what they've guided me to also give you the opportunity to think about. So the ascension, or the idea of, is quite simple from a mathematical formula. It is 1,000 ones plus. So it's just 1,000 times equals shared now moment, or shared moment in time. So it is not of we are ascending. It is not a collective group idea of you saying to them as if you are them, as if you have control or representation of them to guarantee their journey is going to match yours. That's not true. All these spiritual people should also be very clear when they say that, because it isn't true. It is an individual's responsibility in their ascension. Once that shared moment passes, those 1,000 ones get subtracted to where it represents the 0 point. Then it's done. So it's not a we, it's not a collective. It is just a shared now moment. It's kind of collective like, but really it isn't. It's just like a momentary, instantaneous point, and then you're there. It's hard to process, but that's what they shared with me from a no time standpoint. But that's it. That's all I had.
Well, thank you, Brian. I do want to add, Brother Phil and I came up with our own little mantra years ago, and I share it with everybody that I talk to, or I try to. But is I am health, wealth, abundance, and joy. You say those to yourself, it's very powerful. And you know the power of words. I am health, wealth, abundance, and joy. And I try to live that every day. And every day my feet hit the floor, I'm very grateful and appreciative. And I'm looking forward to that day, no matter how late I get it started or how much coffee I got to drink to get going. But I definitely want to ask Teresa if she has any final thoughts for tonight that you'd like to share with us.
I think I gave my final thought with the as you go to sleep at night, creating your reality for the next day and your life. And a lot of people are spending their last 5 minutes before they go to sleep in worry and frustration about the progress of the RV and why don't they push the button and all that. But if we all visualized it coming, we could escalate it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Nikki, any final thoughts from you, dear?
Just gratitude for all of you beautiful souls and everyone listening now and in the future.
Thank you.
DocG. DocG.
I'm
Any
just
final
amazed.
thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just amazed at the guests that you have on here that are so godlike and so wonderful and so warm. And a lot of the things that you said that I wrote down are what you are. Everybody on here has these same type of attributes. And to just be with you guys, it's an honor for me.
Oh, thank you.
Well, how about Debbie Stevens? What's your final thoughts for tonight, dear?
I'm just so grateful and blessed that I got the opportunity to meet these wonderful two ladies. And I just say thank you.
Welcome.
I've had a lot of fun. I've gotten a lot of insight tonight. I'm very grateful and appreciative to everybody that showed up tonight. And you have an open door anytime you would like to join us, Teresa. I'm looking forward to fixing my computer so I can see what everybody really looks like. And I'm just kind of overwhelmed, and I'm in the morning when I get up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send everybody a link to tonight's show, and after I do that, I always hear comments, and then for the next hour, I will be fielding comments, and people will be saying, sending emails and congratulations, great show, and all this. This is a different kind of show. This isn't like everybody else's show that's out there. We kind of dance to our own drummer, and we have some things that we have to do, to keep the show going and everything. But this is a highlight of my week as far as getting ready to socialize with people because I don't get out much. I'm taking care of the dogs, the house, and the boy, and visiting the wife in the nursing home, and that's about what my life amounts to. But I'm so blessed to be with you all tonight. I want to thank you very much. I suppose you don't have any closing music, Gene.
No, I don't.
Oh, Chance, can I just say one thing real quick? Intel, galactic intel.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So, the only little bit from what I am perceiving in the galactic intel is they're finding more stuff and causing more weather problems.
Yes.
These aren't tunnels that the humans need to go clean out necessarily. So there's help in many forms and in many areas. I'll just leave it in that perspective. So even though when Kent is here, he only gives you what you would call the tip of what kind of goes on, which means it's surface related. And some of it can be underground, but there's a lot more going on because your inner earth realms also tends to get the brunt of certain forces, and they're also trying to make sure that things don't get hectic in their neighborhood. So nothing on the Kings. They're quiet. Others are quiet. And that's it.
Beautiful.
Well, that's good.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
Kent Dunn will be with us next week. I'm Chance McFadden. You know who you are. I love you all. God bless you. See you next week on Chance's Chat. Thank you, Teresa, so much. Thank you. God bless everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.